Coming up next, protest and arrest around the nation as demonstrations over the Israel-Hamas war grow more intense. See what's happening at Penn State.
Plus, angry residents react to changes coming to a local transportation service.
And a Penn State grad talks about her time to shine on a national TV cooking contest.
This era of confidence of believing that, you believe in what you do.
The Center County Report starts now. Good afternoon. I'm Justin Chevalella.
And I'm Jessica Heisey. Thanks for joining us for the Center County Report. Our top story, student protests over the Israel-Hamas war are spreading to more college campuses nationwide. Some have turned violent, others have forced event cancellations. Reporter Tyler Gallagher is live in University Park with more. Tyler?
Thanks, Jessica. Here at Penn State, there have been protests in response to the Israel-Hamas war throughout the semester. And as you can see behind me, it's quiet on campus right now. There's not a whole lot going on, and there are no protesters. But yesterday, a small group did get together on the Hub lawn and at Old Main for a planned demonstration with flags and signs. Again, the event here was peaceful, but that's not been the case at some other colleges around the country. In recent days, police arrested more than 100 protesters at Columbia University, and the school has struggled to manage the situation. By yesterday, police in Boston and LA also arrested demonstrators, and at least one university closed its campus. New York City's mayor called for calm.
What we are seeing playing out on many of our college campuses, and particularly in Columbia University, is hate. We're seeing vile language being used, and at no time should we call for the destruction of anyone, should we call for violence towards anyone.
Now, Penn State told us they are monitoring both national and local events, but for security reasons, they will not give us specific details on a safety plan. Live on Penn State's campus, I'm Tyler Gallagher. Now back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Tyler. The Israel-Hamas war is also affecting other parts of student life, including travel. Marie Moyer reports.
Studying abroad is a rite of passage for many college students, and for some, their travel plans are on pause. War in the Middle East has led many universities, including Penn State, to cancel study abroad programs to Israel. Global programs here suspended student travel to Israel indefinitely after the October 7th attacks. In a statement, the office told us, health, safety, and security concerns and support are a top priority, and we assess data on these topics from various sources. Study abroad programs aren't the only travel affected. Many Jewish students participate in birthright trips, free travel to Israel for any Jewish young adults who either have at least one parent of Jewish descent or have converted to Judaism. Penn State junior Jeremy Goldman was excited to visit Israel through his internship with the European Maccabi Youth Games, the all-Jewish sports event planned to hold this year's events in Israel before deciding on England.
I'm going to go to Israel at some point. It's just now, definitely a lot later than sooner, unfortunately, but it is what it is, and there's nothing you can control about it, and it's just unfortunate, and I hope everyone gets better.
Penn State Hillel, the Jewish campus organization, is still hosting 2 annual trips to Israel, Birthright Israel and a summer live and work program, Onward Israel, both under heightened security.
Each group is accompanied by a licensed armed security guard who's also a trained medic. And if additional security measures are needed, we'll be there to provide them because your safety is our mission.
Penn State Global says it'll continue to evaluate travel conditions for future trips. In University Park, I'm Marie Moyer for the Center County Report.
Jewish students interested in learning more about travel to Israel can go to Penn State Hillel's website to find out more.
In other news, the Sheetz convenience store chain faces a new federal lawsuit. The suit accuses the Altoona-based company of discriminatory practices in its hiring process toward minority job seekers. Federal officials claim some applicants were denied employment because of failed criminal background checks. Sheetz denies the allegations.
The way students in Pennsylvania schools take standardized tests is changing. By 2026, the PSSAs and Keystone exams will move online in all schools. Governor Josh Shapiro says the change will reduce stress on students and make more time for teaching. Nearly a third of PA schools have already made the switch.
Changes are also coming for bus riders in the Center County. This week, CATA hosted a public hearing on what's changing, and some people aren't happy about it. A new transportation service called the B-Line will soon replace CATA Go in Bellefonte and Benner Township starting July 1st. And it all comes down to money.
The local funding support doesn't support the kind of service we're doing now, so we had to come up with a different model that would provide some level of service to residents of Bellefonte and Benner Township.
CATA held a public hearing Wednesday to talk with residents about the new service. About 30 people turned out. One of the biggest worries for some people is that Spring Township is leaving the CATA system altogether.
Because come June 30th, there is no service to Pleasant Gap. There is no buses. There is no public transport of any sort. It's gone.
Rachel and her husband say they'll now have to rely on Uber and other ways to get to work. The B-Line will cost $4 per ride, cash only. That's almost double the cost before. There are no senior discounts or passes, and you must book your ride a day in advance.
I think it's going to be an adjustment for people because it's different than what they've been doing before. We're asking them to call in ahead of time. That's inconvenient for them, but it enables us to group trips together better when they call in ahead of time so we can be more efficient.
There will be 20 destination points, and the service will end at 5:30 p.m.
This is not going to fix the problem. There is going to be a whole community that's not going to have access to a bus.
CATA's David Rischel says other changes in services have been altered already, and he hopes CATA will climb out of its financial hole soon.
We reduced our budget deficit by almost $1 million this year, and we think that by next year, fingers crossed, we'll be able to be out of a deficit situation.
Pre-registration for the B-Line will be available starting June 3rd.
We'll get ready for traffic and parking challenges this weekend with several big events on Penn State's campus. Country music star Luke Combs is bringing his Growing Up and Getting Old tour to Beaver Stadium. More than 75,000 fans are expected. Parts of Curtin and Porter Roads will be closed tomorrow. And heavy traffic is expected for the Movin On Festival later today. Eric Morris is live with more. Eric?
Thanks, Justin. Good afternoon to you and Jess in the studio. Now, this is year number 49 for Movin On, so we're just 12 months away from that half-century mark, but we got to get through today first. Now, I did speak with a bunch of students this week, and what some people may not realize is this isn't just a fun music festival. With finals coming up next week, this is one of the main stress relievers for students, and that's kind of a big deal that some people don't think about. Now, I also spoke with some other students this week who are going to have a little bit of a different perspective when the action officially kicks off.
It's a popular event thousands of Penn State students go to every year.
Who gets to go to a free concert that have like big name artists in their lifetime?
Movin On is a staple of the end of the school year. This marks the music festival's 49th year of bringing popular artists to Happy Valley.
Sometimes we get people on the first try, sometimes we don't, but it's kind of just like the way that it goes.
This year's lineup features Dayglow and Sexy Red, among others. Movin On also holds a Battle of the Bands competition to find a Penn State musical group or artist to open the one-day festival.
We played Battle of the Bands, played our hearts out, and I guess we were just lucky enough to win it.
Hot Fudge Yacht Club has been together for just around a year, and they say this is the biggest stage they will perform on so far.
A typical show for us is basements, backyards, the occasional bar show, or, we have Alex's parents one time have us in their living room, but generally house shows for students. We like to do, small underground scene sort of stuff.
Now, all we officially know is that the gates here open at 3:30 p.m. and Alex Chase and the rest of the Hot Fudge Yacht Club will be the first ones on that stage just behind me. Really quick, I know I'm no Tyler Hughes or Leah Zamerko, but I don't really see very many clouds in the sky, so it's shaping up to be a great afternoon and evening to cap off what's been an excellent semester. Live from the intramural fields, I'm Eric Morris for the Center County Report. Now back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Eric. So how's the weather look for this weekend's concerts? We check the forecast next.
Plus, the newest version of a Penn State tradition dating back more than 160 years. Also coming up, she's a Penn State journalist turned social media chef. Now she's making a name for herself on national TV against some tough competition. The Borough of State College is gearing up for its annual No Mow May event. That's when grass height restrictions are lifted. Ethan Zaretsky tells you what it's all about.
No Mow May began 5 years ago in the UK, encouraging people to let their lawns grow wild during the months of May to help bees, butterflies, and other insects. In State College, the grass height limit is 6 inches. Other local townships, including Harris, have a limit of 12 inches. The No Mow movement has been gaining popularity, but does it make a difference?
You not mowing for a month is probably not contributing a lot.
Dee Bagshaw with the Center County Beekeeper Association believes there are better ways to help.
I mean, there's actually a term called a bee lawn. And this is still having your nice green lawn, but you've incorporated some very low growing, pollinator friendly plants.
We checked with other local townships, and for now, State College Borough is the only one in Center County taking part in No Mow May. In State College, I'm Ethan Zaretsky for the Center County Report.
The borough says you can register your home for No Mow May online until May 10th and display a yard sign provided by the borough.
Now, a follow-up on a story we first brought to you over the winter. A Penn State alum has been climbing her way to the top in the Fox national TV show Next Level Chef. Reporter Jade Branwell caught up with her this week.
It's been a wild ride this year for Penn State alum Gabrielle Chappelle.
It's just this confidence. It's this era of confidence of believing that you believe in what you do and push for it and fight for it, because if no one is believing in it, like, you can at least believe in it.
That attitude has led to big success for the Central PA native. She's been competing on Fox's Next Level Chef and made it to the top 5. The former Center County Report journalist went on to culinary school and became a social media chef after college. Now, she's even expanded into podcasting. She worked with Cherry Bomb, a media company that works with women creatives to showcase food and drink on a different level. She recently partnered with them as a guest, creating pizzas, and will be featured on their platform, Future of Food Is You, that shares her passion for plant-based dishes.
Being able to showcase my style of cooking on this platform, it's, environmentally focused, plant-based, and seasonally focused, and just sort of this nostalgic sense of joy of cooking. It's been great to have that be recognized.
On Next Level Chef, she's been challenged and pushed out of her comfort zone, and it's led to other opportunities, like recently creating a 6-course meal at a pop-up show in New York.
Being able to have someone come to a dinner of mine and be able to pick anything off the menu and eat it is really such a gratifying feeling.
Chappelle hopes to use her experience from network TV to social media to take her chef career to the next level. In State College, I'm Jay Bramwell for the Center County Report.
Well, congratulations to Gabby for making it to the top 4 of Next Level Chef last night. You can find updates on her journey through her Instagram at Gab Chappelle.
Well, Eric was absolutely right earlier on in the show when he said there was a gorgeous day on tap, and you can see it here on our live camera over the Penn State golf courses. Plenty of blue sky and a few of those nice, light, puffy cumulus clouds as a sure sign of a great day as well. A great day to do some golfing if you're lucky enough to have the chance. A temperature of 57 degrees at this hour. So it'll be a great end to the week. Then we have some showers that are on the way and clouds for tomorrow. Once again, clearing out for your Sunday, maybe a few thunderstorms, but overall, a taste of summer for next week, and I'll show you coming up here in just a moment. So here's the air mass we're underneath right now, is mostly in this green here, and you see mild conditions. We have wind coming out of the north at this hour, keeping things just a little bit cooler. However, you can see down south here, this warmth is going to push up into our region over the next couple of days, leaving us with a summer-like feel for the beginning of next week. The satellite radar is completely clear at this hour, aside from a few high-level clouds, but here is our next disturbance on the horizon that will be making its way into our area by this time tomorrow. So let's time it out on the Futurecast here. You can see this evening will be a pretty great evening. If you have other evening plans or weather. If you're heading out to Movin On, it should be a great night for it as well. Perhaps a little chilly at times when it stays clear, but generally clouds will begin to increase early on in the morning tomorrow morning, likely before you wake up, as these showers arrive on the doorstep of western Pennsylvania and begin to advance through midday tomorrow as well. So any tailgates for the Luke Combs concert, you may want to be prepared for a scattered shower, maybe even an isolated downpour to move through around midday. We have another round of showers that could make its way through around the time the concert starts, but I expect that most of the concert should be dry, maybe a little bit cloudy at times, before these clouds begin to clear out later in the day on Sunday as well. One more note, allergies are high this time of year. Tree pollen is remaining high, grass pollen and ragweed both low, but this is certainly a consideration. At least the rain tomorrow will begin to help a little bit with that and washing some of that pollen away. So for today, a great rest of your Friday, sunny as well, a high of 63 degrees. If you're heading out to Movin On tonight, by the time you're lining up and ready to go inside, temperatures in the 60s with a few clouds around, clearing out this evening with a temperature of 58 degrees around the time the main acts are taking the stage, and then a few clouds overnight. Lows will remain in the 50s or so. So for tomorrow, I think cloudy and showery if you're heading to Luke Combs. A temperature of 54 degrees, but those temperatures will quickly jump up into the 80s for your Sunday and Monday. I think we do have a chance for a few thunderstorms here on Sunday, and you can see that as the temperatures come up, the sun heats the ground, and that leads to a little bit more instability in the atmosphere. Overall, though, a relatively nice beginning to next week, and with temperatures in the 80s and that sort of thing, some folks may be looking, Justin and Jessica, for a place to study for their finals outside, maybe in a pool.
Well, I really am excited for that taste of summer to hopefully come.
Yeah, I'm just going to crank up the air conditioning. The 80s, too uncomfortable. It's too early
I don't blame
for
you.
that. But let's go over to Kendall Skalicki to see what's coming up in sports.
A couple of Nittany Lions have already gone in the first round of the NFL draft. We'll check in with our team in Detroit next. Also coming up, we sit down with Penn State basketball coach Mike Rhodes as he looks back on his first season in Happy Valley. I'm Kendall Skalicki with sports. The NFL draft is underway and some former Nittany Lion players have already heard their names called. Reporters Emily McGlynn and Jacob Schnurr are covering the draft for us in Detroit.
Thanks, Kendall. I'm Jacob Schnurr here with Emily McGlynn. We're inside the event area here in Detroit with the draft stand right behind you to the Detroit NFL draft. So 2024, it's been a great night, and a lot of compensators actually went tonight. Olu Fashanu going to the Jets at 11, Job Robinson 21 to Miami Dolphins. A lot of exciting battles in the AFC East between those two to come. They did not actually make here tonight. However, a lot of fans, they saw fans just about every team, including a couple of some bad fans.
Yeah, Detroit made history tonight with on just day one, 275,000 people infiltrated Campus Martius. But we did talk to a couple of people all the way from Pennsylvania who made their way to watch it all happen here. Phillies fans, a father and son duo, and here's how it happened.
It's definitely such a special moment, it's something I hold on to all the time. So just be able to basement at this.
You can catch day 2 of the NFL draft only here on Com Radio at 6 p.m. Reporting from Campus Martius, I'm Emily Glenn with Jacob Schnurr for the Sutter County Report. Back to you, Kendall.
The Washington Commanders have released Penn State alum Shaka Toney just days after the NFL reinstated him following a gambling suspension. Toney was one of 3 players banned last year for at least one season for betting on games. A league review found no evidence of inside information used or any games compromised. Penn State football player Abdul Carter faces criminal charges after an incident in College Township last month. Court documents show Carter is charged with simple assault and harassment. He's accused of assaulting a tow truck driver who was trying to tow his car. A preliminary hearing is set for May 22nd. It's going to be a busy weekend at Panzer Stadium as both the Penn State men's and women's lacrosse teams head into the Big Ten tournament tomorrow. Penn State men's lacrosse ended the regular season with a 9-3 record. TJ Malone and Jack Frassian were standout honorees, with Malone winning the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year award and Frassian named Big Ten Specialist of the Year.
I mean, after practices, they're always giving me tips and advice, and I'm learning a lot from them, always asking questions and looking up to them.
The Nittany Lions are the 3rd seed as they head into the conference tournament this weekend.
They face Rutgers tomorrow, which they also beat in the regular season finale. On the women's side, the team finished 9-6 after a few standout upsets this season. The Nittany Lions took down top-ranked Northwestern as well as number 4 Maryland.
I think we're just gritty. That's what Penn State's about, and we've really bought into that this year, and I think we're just a gritty group who's going to pull out games.
The team placed 5 women on all conference teams. Penn State is the number 2 seed as they look for redemption against Ohio State in the first round of the tournament.
The women's game is at noon tomorrow, with the men following at 3:30. A new era of Penn State basketball began this year as Season 1 is in the books. Our reporter Sam Kirk sat down with Coach Mike Rhodes as he begins the offseason.
Mike Rhodes just wrapped up his first season as Penn State's men's basketball coach. He's a Pennsylvania native from Mahoney City. After a successful stint at VCU, he returned to his PA roots.
Legion of Blue, how we doing over there?
You know, I grew up in Pennsylvania, and I was a basketball junkie my whole life. So, every morning I read the Philadelphia Inquirer before school and looked at the box scores of all the Big 5 games.
From his playing days to his time on the sideline, Rhodes says he's a certain vision for the kind of players he wants at Penn State.
Compare us to other programs as we move along, and if we play as hard and we're as tough as of Michigan State, and we have the character and the grit of Purdue, or we show the connectedness of a UConn team and the resilience of teams like that. Those are the compliments you want them.
His team won 9 conference games this year with a remade roster and ended the season 1 game under 500. Rhodes says he has the support to keep improving the team.
All the other head coaches and their staffs, awesome. Some great relationships already, and picking their brain. I've gone to some practices of other coaches, and I always love to watch how coaches lead their program and how they communicate with their players.
Rhodes wants to elevate Nittany Lion basketball to new heights.
I told Pat Kraft that we're going to build this into something special. It's going to kill me.
The hard work is just beginning. In State College, I'm Sam Kirk for the Center County Report.
The Nittany Lions schedule takes a new turn this fall as the Big Ten welcomes new teams like USC, UCLA, and Oregon. Now to high school baseball. State College enters the final 2 weeks of its regular season. The Little Lions hosted Mifflin County on Monday before they traveled to Chambersburg on Wednesday. State High fell to the Huskies but bounced back against the Trojans. They sit at 6-5 on the season and will play Chambersburg this afternoon at Community Field. That's all for sports. Now back to you, Justin and Jess.
Well, thanks, Kendall. Really looking forward to watching Chop Robinson and Olu Fashanu go at it in the AFC East for probably the next 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Kendall. Coming up next, Penn State continues a treasured tradition on campus, one that's almost as old as the university itself.
It's been a landmark at Penn State since 1859. Now, a new generation of a tree nicknamed Old Willow is back. After growing in a campus nursery for the past 3 years, the 4th generation Old Willow has been replanted on the old main lawn in University Park. The beloved tree was first planted in 1859, but fell in 1923. Cuttings from the original were used for the next willow, which lived until the 1970s. The 3rd generation tree lived until it fell during a storm 3 years ago. And now the newest Old Willow is planted to keep the tradition alive.
Well, I'm positive the newest tree will be probably a great addition to the Old Willow legacy.
Yeah, it's going to keep a great tradition going.
Agreed. Well, that's all for today's newscast, and this is our final newscast of the semester. We'll be back in September with a new team.
But you can still follow us anytime for breaking news on our Center County Report X, and you can see our stories on our Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube, and our website. Have a good afternoon.